In this video, we will look at the second page of the Similarity and Trig test review homework. So in the first set of questions, we're solving for x, given that the polygons are similar, and then we have to give the scale factor. It doesn't tell us what order or what direction, so we can choose whichever order we want to. So the first thing in number 17 that I notice, I see 15, 15, 10, 10. Those sides are the same. But if these are similar, I don't really know, does 2x minus 8 line up with this one, or is this sort of a reflection, and will this line up with the 21? Will it correspond to the 21? So ideally I would have a little bit more information, so hopefully I'm mentioning this to you in class that we're going to use 21 as the length of this side as well, so that sort of takes away that confusion. So in order to solve for x, we need to set up the 2x minus 8 as a ratio with its corresponding side, one of these 21s. So the 2x minus 8 corresponds with the 21. And in that same figure, 2x minus 8 is in the same polygon as 10, so 10 goes on top. The 21 is in the same polygon as the 15. The 10 corresponds with the 15. So now as we solve, 15 gets multiplied by the 2x minus 8, and the 21 gets multiplied by 10. Distribute 15, 15 times 2 is 30x, 15 times minus 8 is minus 120, and so we need to add the 120 onto the 210. 210 plus 120 is 330, so we divide by 30 to find x equals 11. So we fill in x equals 11. Now the scale factor comes from the ratio of the sides that we know the values for. So this 10 over 15 reduces to 2 over 3. Divide top and bottom by 5. And so we can use 2 over 3, or if we had gone the other direction and said 15 over 10, then we could have 3 over 2, or 1.5. That's our scale factor. Number 18. So the 2x minus 7 looks like it corresponds with the 30. So 2x minus 7 goes with 30. 2x minus 7 was from the right figure, so 2x minus 7 is in the same one as 6. 6 goes on top. 6 corresponds with 36 in the left figure. So now when I cross multiply, the 36 gets multiplied by the 2x minus 7, and the 30 gets multiplied by 6. Distribute the 36. 36 times 2 is 72x. 36 times 7 is 252. So now I want to add the 252 onto the 180. So 72x equals 432. And then divide that by 72 to find that x equals 6. So again, the scale factor comes from the ratio that we do know. 6 goes with 36. So both of those numbers can be divided by 6. So that can reduce to 1 over 6. Or if we had done 36 over 6, it could reduce to 6 over 1. Or just 6. Number 19. So the 2x minus 9 looks like it corresponds to the side that is 25. So 2x minus 9 goes with 25. The 2x minus 9 is in the same figure as 18, so that goes on top. And in the other figure, the 18 corresponds with the 30. So we cross multiply. 30 gets multiplied by the 2x minus 9, and 25 gets multiplied by 18. So we distribute the 30. 30 times 2x is 60x. 30 times minus 9 is minus 270. And that equals the 450. So I add the 270 onto 450 to get 720, and then divide that by 60 to find that x equals 12. X equals 12. The scale factor, the ratio that we did know, was 18 to 30. Both of those can be divided by 6, so that becomes 3 over 5. Or if it had been 30 over 18, this would reduce to 5 over 3. 3/5 is 0.6, whereas 5 over 3 is 1.6 repeating, so it's better to leave it as a fraction. Now we get into some word problems. A scale model of the Willis Tower in Chicago is 1 inch to 200 feet. So that's telling me the ratio, the scale factor. So I know I'm going to use this ratio of 1 inch to 200 feet. So I'm putting the model is small, 200 feet is big, so that's the actual tower, or the real life. So if the model's height is 8.645 inches, what is the height of the actual tower to the tip of the antenna? So using this scale, I know the model's height is 8.645 inches. Inches on top, inches on top. I'm trying to figure out the height of the actual tower. Well, the tower goes with 200 feet, so I'm trying to figure out how many feet will the tower actually be. So x gets multiplied by 1, that's just x. 200 gets multiplied by 8.645. 200 times 8.645. And we get 1,729. So what is the height of the actual tower? The actual tower is 1,729 feet tall. Part B, draw the shadow of the tower. So we got the tower, I don't know how many of these things there are, but then you got your antennas up here at the top of the Willis Tower, also called Sears Tower. So the shadow of the tower, so the sunlight's catching the edge of the tower, and it's making a shadow down here on the ground. Determine the length of the shadow if it is 1/20th of the actual height. So I know the scale is 1 to 20, and it's 1/20th of the actual height. So the actual goes on bottom, the shadow goes on top because it's 1/20th of the actual, so the actual is bigger. Well, I just found that the height of the Willis Tower is 1,729. So the actual is 1,729. We're trying to figure out how long is that shadow. So when I cross multiply, the 20 gets multiplied by the x. 1 times 1,729. And so I divide that by 20. I get 86.45. Exactly. So, if it's 1/20th, all these measurements are in terms of feet. So 86.45 feet. Determine the length of the shadow. The shadow is 86.45 feet long. Number 21. The perimeter of Mrs. Bauman's vegetable garden is 56 feet. If the ratio of length to width is 2 to 3, so her vegetable garden has a ratio of 2 to 3. And the perimeter is 56. So if the ratio is 2 to 3, that means if we multiply by the scale factor, that will find us the actual length and width. Although, let's see, they say length to width, and it goes 2 to 3. So the length is the 2. So I'm going to mark that here. The length is the 2, and the width is the 3. So perimeter is where you add all the sides together. So in a rectangle, the opposite sides are going to be that same length. So 2x plus 3x plus 2x plus 3x needs to give us that perimeter of 56 feet. So I've got 2 of the 2x's and 2 of the 3x's. And so you may find it easier just to start right there and say 2 times the length plus 2 times the width equals the perimeter. So 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times 3x is 6x, 4x plus 6x is 10x, and so I divide by 10 to find that x equals 5.6. So how wide is her garden? Well, the width is 3 times x, and we just found x is 5.6. So I want to take 3 times 5.6 to get 16.8. The perimeter's in feet, so this is in feet. How wide is her garden? Her garden is 16.8 feet wide. Now if you thought the width should be the smaller one and you did 2 times 5.6 to get 11.2 feet wide, I can understand that. I will try to make sure that is not the case on a test question. That I'll try to make the length longer than the width. The extended ratio of the sides of a triangle are 3 to 6 to 8. If the perimeter of the triangle is 85 centimeters, what is the length of the shortest side? So I've got my triangle, ratio is 3 to 6 to 8. but the perimeter is 85. So I have to multiply the 3 and the 6 and the 8 by something to get 85. So perimeter 3x plus 6x plus 8x. Add the sides together, needs a total of 85. 3x plus 6x plus 8x is 17x. 85 divided by 17, x equals 5. The question is asking, what is the length of the shortest side? Well, the shortest side is going to be the smallest number. 3 times x is 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. The length of the shortest side is 15, perimeter with centimeters, 15 centimeters. Number 23. Sal is standing next to a Pizza Hut sign. I don't know how well I can draw a Pizza Hut sign, so I'm just gonna treat it like it's a rectangle. This Pizza Hut sign is 25 feet tall. If Sal is 5 feet tall, here's Sal, he's 5 feet tall, and his shadow is 3 feet. How long is the shadow made by the sign? Should have drawn this a little bit differently, but the shadow here compared with the height of the sign, we're trying to figure out the shadow that's made by that 25-foot tall sign. So the ratio that we know is that a 5-foot person makes a 3-foot tall. So I have a couple options here. So let's say the ratio that we do know is that when Sal is 5 feet tall, the Pizza Hut sign is 25. Sal's on top, Pizza Hut sign is on bottom. And so Sal's shadow is 3 feet. That corresponds with the Pizza Hut shadow, which is x. So the first number was the height. The second fraction gave you the shadow length. Sal is on top, Pizza Hut sign's on the bottom. Okay, so we cross multiply 5 times x, 25 times 3, divide by 5, x equals 15. How long is the shadow made by the sign? The shadow of the sign is 15, everything's measured in feet, 15 feet long.